Angie.
And I'm Scott, and welcome to The Life.
On this week's episode, we have a bunch of crazy Canadians in camp.
My name is Nick. I'm from Belleville, Ontario, and I've been working with Scott and Angie on their TV show for 2 years now. And this week I'm down here at Table Mountain Outfitters with two of my closest friends who also happen to be my co-workers, Victor Cooper and Rob Housem, who also have tags, and we're here to get an antelope. And I just feel so blessed to be here finally after, filming here last year. And I really don't think there's any better people out there than Scott and Angie and Kelly and the rest of their guides and the kids. People make all the difference, and it just doesn't get any better than these people right here. Angie dropped us off in a beautiful valley, and we rolled in just before sunrise, so we kind of got to see the environment wake up with us. The action started off pretty quickly, but we had two goat bucks come into the water hole, and they weren't quite mature enough to take, but it was just neat to kind of see what they would react like to us. So I drew on them just to see, if movement caught their eye, if scent was an issue or any of that. And it kind of gave me a little bit more confidence before I had an opportunity at a trophy animal that I was here for. I don't think it was even 10 o'clock in the morning. It was a scene right out of The Lion King. We look over to our left, and about 400 or 500 yards away is like a herd of these antelope. There was a bunch of does, there was a small buck, and then at the back, there was this really cool looking buck. You could tell he was older. He had a lot of curl in his horns. And at first I wasn't sure, if that was the one for me, but as he closed the distance to about 100 yards, they say take the one that makes your heart skip a beat. And for me, being my first antelope hunt, it was him. I just knew then and there. And it wasn't until that moment that I started getting, buck fever. And sure enough, the entire herd, runs right to the water hole. And believe it or not, every single one of them put their heads in to get a drink at the same time, which is great because I'm shaking like a leaf. And I draw back and not one of them saw me. So now I'm at full draw. These things are drinking. And I don't really have a shot. He's kind of facing me. He's about 20, 22 yards away, but he's facing right at me. So I knew I had to, keep it together for a little while longer. And he turned, and I just had a little window, but he was quartering away pretty sharp. So to be honest with you, it's a blur now, but at the time I was just like, don't mess up, don't mess up, don't mess up. Not only do I take a lot of heat from these guys for being Canadian, but if I shank this goat, because I'm nervous, they're never gonna let me hear the end of it. So I just did everything I could to hold that pin steady and relax and breathe. And I heard my bow go off, but to be honest, I didn't even see where it went. And Victor got super excited right away. He's like, oh, you got him, you got him, you got him. And he kind of semicircled. He was maybe 80 yards, and then he just kind of went over. And it wasn't until that point that I saw the antelope go down that I really kind of got overwhelmed with joy.
Yeah, buddy. Yes. Yes. Oh, I'm shaking. That was awesome. Oh, dude, you hit him hard. Dude, it happened so fast I didn't get a chance to see. Oh, you hit him good. Did I? Yeah. Oh. Tucked it right in. First antelope. He's standing right over there. I can see he's all lined up. He'll lay down, man. He'll lay down. Oh, he's done. Yes. Thanks, buddy. Oh, dude. Yes. Awesome. Oh, how awesome was that? How awesome was that? They all had their heads down at the same time. I was able to get the draw, full draw. And he popped up, quartered away, and stuck him.
We had sent a text message to Angie, and she showed up to help us. And of course, as soon as I could, I got over there and got my hands on it. And it was just a special moment that I'll never forget, truly. And for a lot of reasons, it's a cool animal, it's a special hunt. But again, between sharing it with really good friends and coworkers and being here at Scott and Angie's, it's just rounds it out to a level that I don't know if I'll ever be able to match with other hunts. So I was really glad that it worked out. I didn't mess up the shot. And now I gotta a goat to brag about back home and some unbelievably delicious meat to take back to the family.